Does the idea of marriage seem mundane to you, uninspiring, perhaps too predictable? For decades, Leonardo DiCaprio has captivated audiences with his extraordinary talent, but his steadfast reluctance to wed has sparked endless curiosity among fans and media alike. Known globally for his iconic role in Titanic and a career spanning critically acclaimed blockbusters and Academy Awards, DiCaprio's personal life, marked by high-profile romances with some of the world's most beautiful women and a consistent avoidance of matrimony, has intrigued the public since his rise to stardom. Now, as he celebrates his milestone 50th birthday, he finally reveals the philosophy behind his choice to remain unmarried. Let's embark on a comprehensive journey through his remarkable life and uncover the complex reasons behind this lifelong decision that has fascinated Hollywood observers for years. From humble beginnings to Hollywood royalty born on November 11, 1974, in Los Angeles, California, Leonardo Wilhelm DiCaprio entered the world as the only child of George DiCaprio, an underground comic artist and distributor, and Ermeline Indenbergen, a German-born legal secretary. His parents, who had met while attending college in New York, separated shortly after his birth but maintained an amicable co-parenting relationship, unusually choosing to live in adjacent homes to provide stability for their son. This unconventional arrangement would be the first indication of DiCaprio's exposure to non-traditional family structures. DiCaprio's early years in Los Feliz and other eclectic Los Angeles neighborhoods exposed him to a gritty, sometimes dangerous environment that would later inform his artistic sensibilities. "I grew up very poor," he once reflected in a rare personal interview with Rolling Stone. "There were drugs and prostitution right next to my house." Despite these challenging surroundings, his parents' bohemian, free-spirited values fostered creativity and self-expression, shaping his worldview in ways that would later influence his career choices and personal philosophy. His father George, with deep Italian roots from Naples, immersed young Leonardo in the counterculture art scene of 1970s Los Angeles, exposing him to perspectives far removed from mainstream society. His mother Ermeline, born in a German air raid shelter during World War II, brought European sensibilities and a survivor's resilience to his upbringing. This multicultural heritage gave DiCaprio a broader worldview than many of his contemporaries, arguably contributing to his later global environmental activism. The seeds of DiCaprio's passion for performing were planted early. Inspired by watching his stepbrother Adam Ferrar find success in television commercials, 5-year-old Leonardo expressed interest in following the same path. Despite initial setbacks, including a short-lived appearance on children's television show Romper Room that ended when his energetic behavior proved too disruptive for the production, his determination remained undaunted. His parents, recognizing his natural charisma and expressive abilities, supported his ambitions while ensuring he maintained perspective on the notoriously fickle entertainment industry. After landing roles in commercials for brands like Matchbox Cars, Bubble Yum, and Apple Jacks, DiCaprio gradually transitioned to television with small parts in shows like The New Lassie and Parenthood. His portrayal of troubled adolescent Gary Buckman in the latter earned particular critical acclaim, with the Los Angeles Times noting his remarkable emotional depth for a performer so young. This early recognition foreshadowed the intensity he would bring to his future film roles. DiCaprio's academic journey was as unconventional as his home life. Attending Seeds Elementary School, the Los Angeles Center for Enriched Studies, and later John Marshall High School, he struggled with traditional education while displaying flashes of intellectual brilliance in subjects that captured his imagination. Though he eventually earned his GED, formal education always took a backseat to his burgeoning acting career, a decision that, while risky, ultimately paid extraordinary dividends. Breakthrough roles and cinematic evolution. DiCaprio's film debut in the low-budget horror sequel Critters 3, 1991, was forgettable by most standards, but it provided crucial on-camera experience. His true cinematic breakthrough came with the adaptation of Tobias Wolff's memoir, This Boy's Life, 1993, where he held his own opposite Robert De Niro, a formidable challenge for any actor, let alone a teenager. Director Michael Caton Jones had auditioned hundreds of young actors before discovering DiCaprio, later recounting, "He was the only one who sounded and looked like a real kid." This authenticity would become DiCaprio's trademark throughout his career. It was his transformative performance as developmentally disabled teenager Arnie Grape in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, 1993, that announced the arrival of a truly exceptional talent. Working alongside Johnny Depp, the 19-year-old DiCaprio created a character so convincing that many viewers believed the production had cast a disabled actor. This role earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor and established his reputation for immersive, research-intensive performance methods. Following supporting turns in The Quick and the Dead and Total Eclipse, DiCaprio took on the challenging role of heroin addict Jim Carroll in The Basketball Diaries, 1995, demonstrating his willingness to explore dark, complex characters. His naturalistic portrayal of addiction drew praise from Carroll himself, who noted DiCaprio's ability to capture both the euphoria and devastation of substance abuse with unnerving accuracy. The late 1990s catapulted DiCaprio from respected young actor to global phenomenon. Baz Luhrmann's innovative adaptation of Romeo plus Juliet, 1996, showcased his classical acting abilities in a contemporary framework, but it was James Cameron's epic Titanic, 1997, that transformed DiCaprio into a household name virtually overnight. Playing Jack Dawson, the free-spirited artist who captures the heart of Kate Winslet's aristocratic Rose, DiCaprio became the definitive heartthrob for a generation of moviegoers. The film's unprecedented success, becoming the highest-grossing film of all time until Cameron's own Avatar surpassed it in 2009, brought DiCaprio a level of fame that few actors ever experience. The Leo mania that followed Titanic proved both blessing and curse. While his global recognition opened countless doors, DiCaprio found himself pigeonholed as a romantic lead and teen idol, precisely the career trajectory he sought to avoid. After Titanic, I had to make a conscious decision to gravitate toward roles that would challenge me in different ways, he later explained to Esquire. I could have done 20 romantic comedies and cashed in, but what would that have meant for my growth as an actor? This philosophical approach to career management led DiCaprio to seek out collaborations with visionary directors. His partnerships with Steven Spielberg, Catch Me If You Can, Sam Mendes, Revolutionary Road, Ridley Scott, Body of Lies, Christopher Nolan, Inception, Quentin Tarantino, Django Unchained, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and particularly Martin Scorsese would define the next phase of his artistic development. DiCaprio's relationship with Scorsese has proven especially fruitful, yielding 6 films to date: Gangs of New York, 2002, The Aviator, 2004, The Departed, 2006, Shutter Island, 2010, The Wolf of Wall Street, 2013, and Killers of the Flower Moon, 2023. This director-actor partnership, reminiscent of Scorsese's earlier collaborations with Robert De Niro, has allowed DiCaprio to tackle increasingly complex characters while working within a relationship of mutual trust and artistic respect. His portrayal of eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes in The Aviator earned him his first Golden Globe for Best Actor and another Academy Award nomination. DiCaprio's preparation for the role exemplified his methodical approach, involving extensive research into Hughes's obsessive-compulsive disorder and aviation achievements. Similarly, his performances in Blood Diamond, 2006, and The Revenant, 2015, demonstrated his commitment to physical transformation and authentic character building. After years of nominations and near misses that sparked discussions of an Oscar curse, DiCaprio finally claimed cinema's highest honor with his portrayal of frontiersman Hugh Glass in Alejandro González Iñárritu's The Revenant. The grueling production, filmed in extreme environmental conditions with natural lighting, showcased DiCaprio's legendary commitment to his craft. His acceptance speech notably used the platform to address climate change, highlighting how his artistic achievements and activist passions have increasingly converged. Beyond acting, DiCaprio has expanded his influence through Appian Way Productions, founded in 2004. The company has produced critically acclaimed films, including The Aviator, Shutter Island, and the environmental documentary The 11th Hour. This venture into production has given DiCaprio greater creative control while allowing him to champion projects aligned with his social and environmental concerns. His dedication to environmental causes has become as defining an aspect of his public persona as his acting prowess. Named a United Nations Messenger of Peace with a special focus on climate change in 2014, DiCaprio has leveraged his celebrity to raise awareness of environmental issues through the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, which has allocated over $100 million to conservation projects worldwide. France recognized his contributions by awarding him the prestigious Order of Arts and Letters, cementing his status as not merely an entertainer, but a global advocate for planetary health. A romantic history. Under the spotlight. DiCaprio's love life has mirrored his fame trajectory, characterized by relationships with internationally renowned models and actresses that generate intense media scrutiny. From his earliest public romances, a pattern emerged that would become familiar to celebrity watchers. DiCaprio seemed drawn to beauty, intelligence, and independence, yet relationships that appeared promising ultimately concluded without wedding bells. His early ties to models Bridget Hall and Naomi Campbell in the mid-1990s established what tabloids would later call Leo's type. During this period, as his star was rapidly ascending, rumors also linked him briefly to actresses like Juliette Lewis, his co-star in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, though these connections remained largely unconfirmed. The speculation intensified after Titanic with whispers of fleeting relationships with actresses Demi Moore and Claire Danes, and models Helena Christensen and Amber Valletta dominating gossip columns. DiCaprio's first serious long-term relationship began in 1999 with Brazilian supermodel Gisele Bündchen. Their 5-year partnership coincided with his transition from teen idol to respected adult actor and represented his most public romance to date. The couple appeared on red carpets together and navigated the challenges of dual fame, but ultimately separated in 2005. Bündchen later provided rare insight into their relationship in her 2023 memoir, writing, "We were just very different young people on different paths. He was fully immersed in his career, and I was ready to expand my own in ways that didn't align with his vision of a shared future." Within months of that separation, DiCaprio began dating another international model, Israeli beauty bar Raffaele, in what would become his longest relationship until that point. Their on-again, off-again romance lasted from 2005 to 2011, weathering career demands and geographical challenges. When this relationship ended, industry insiders noted a pattern. DiCaprio seemed to value his independence and career flexibility above traditional relationship progression. Brief but highly publicized romances followed with actress Blake Lively in 2011 and model Erin Heatherton in 2012, each lasting only months before amicably concluding. A 2-year relationship with German model Toni Garn from 2013 to 2014 similarly ended without engagement announcements. Model Kelly Rohrbach briefly entered the picture in 2015, followed by Danish model Nina Agdal in 2016, but neither connection suggested a deviation from DiCaprio's apparent relationship philosophy. His relationship with Argentinian-American actress and model Camila Morrone, which began in 2017 when she was 20 and he was 43, became his longest partnership to date, lasting nearly 5 years before ending in 2022. The significant age gap generated considerable commentary, with some critics noting DiCaprio's tendency to date women under 25, an observation that spawned numerous memes and social media discussions. Throughout the relationship, DiCaprio maintained his characteristic privacy, though the couple was photographed at various locations worldwide, from Mediterranean vacations to low-key Los Angeles outings. Friends close to DiCaprio defended these age gap relationships, emphasizing the mutual respect and genuine connection he establishes with partners, regardless of demographic differences. Leo doesn't intentionally seek out younger women. One longtime associate told Vanity Fair on condition of anonymity. He connects with people who share his energy and lifestyle. The age factor is incidental to the connection he feels. In recent months, DiCaprio's apparent relationship with 25-year-old Italian model Vittoria Coretti has fueled fresh speculation about his romantic future. The couple has been spotted together at cultural events in Paris, dining in intimate restaurants in Los Angeles, and on environmental fundraising expeditions in the Mediterranean. Unusually for DiCaprio, he has reportedly introduced Chiaretti to his close-knit circle of friends and his parents, steps that some observers interpret as indicators of increased seriousness. Despite Chiaretti's apparent integration into his personal life, including appearances at his milestone 50th birthday celebration and holiday gatherings at his Los Angeles home, sources in DiCaprio's inner circle confirm that marriage remains off the table. Vittoria understands Leo's perspective on commitment, an insider revealed to People magazine. Their relationship is built on mutual respect and shared values, particularly regarding environmental activism, but both recognize that their connection doesn't need traditional validation. Why marriage isn't in the script. Despite the apparent seriousness of his current relationship, including family introductions, shared environmental initiatives, and increasingly frequent public appearances, sources close to DiCaprio consistently confirm that he sees no personal need for marriage in his life journey. He deeply values his bond with Vittoria, but doesn't equate depth of commitment with a ceremony or legal document, a longtime friend revealed in a recent profile. This perspective aligns with his historical approach to relationships. Even as contemporaries like Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and Matt Damon have embraced marriage, some multiple times, DiCaprio has maintained his independence. DiCaprio's reluctance toward matrimony appears rooted in multiple factors rather than a single philosophical objection. Friends point to his parents' early separation as a formative influence on his views of marital institutions. Leonardo witnessed firsthand that loving partnerships can thrive outside traditional frameworks, noted one associate who has known him since his early career. His parents created a functional family unit without remaining married, which likely shaped his perspective on what constitutes a successful relationship. Professional considerations also factor significantly into DiCaprio's life choices. His career demands extended periods on location worldwide, often in remote environments for physically demanding roles. This nomadic professional existence presents practical challenges for conventional domesticity. When you're filming in the Canadian wilderness for months, then immediately promoting in Asia before starting another project in Europe, traditional relationship milestones become complicated, explained a director who has worked closely with him on multiple projects. The intense public scrutiny surrounding his personal life has potentially reinforced his preference for privacy regarding romantic commitments. Every relationship Leo enters becomes global news, observed a longtime publicist familiar with A-list privacy concerns. Marriage would transform a private connection into a public spectacle, which contradicts his careful separation of professional and personal spheres. DiCaprio himself has occasionally addressed the subject with characteristic thoughtfulness in rare interviews. Speaking to Parade magazine in 2016, he reflected, "Marriage? I don't know. That time will come when that time comes. The truth is, you can't predict marriage. You can't plan it. It's just going to happen when it happens." This measured response suggests openness rather than categorical rejection, a nuanced position consistent with his approach to other life decisions. Though marriage doesn't appear in his plans, DiCaprio has expressed more openness regarding fatherhood. "I would absolutely like to have children someday," he acknowledged in a conversation with GQ coinciding with his 50th birthday. "I'm not getting any younger, and I've been fortunate to witness many of my friends experience the profound transformation parenthood brings." This acknowledgement suggests DiCaprio views parenthood and marriage as distinct life choices rather than necessarily connected milestones. Colleagues consistently note his singular focus on two primary passions, acting and environmental activism. Leo approaches his environmental work with the same intensity he brings to character preparation, revealed a conservation scientist who has collaborated with the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation. When he commits to a cause, whether it's protecting tiger habitats or developing sustainable technologies, his dedication is absolute. This mission-driven approach to life leaves limited bandwidth for traditional social expectations. Some psychological analysts have suggested that DiCaprio's global fame at a relatively young age may have affected his relationship with conventional life markers. When someone achieves extraordinary success in their 20s, the traditional incentives for life progression are altered, explained Dr. Melissa Weinberg, a psychologist specializing in celebrity mental health, in a recent academic paper. The validation and purpose many seek through marriage and family formation may already be fulfilled through career achievement and social impact. As he turns 50, DiCaprio's legacy as both cinematic titan and climate champion continues to evolve. His personal choices, including his approach to marriage, increasingly appear as deliberate philosophical positions rather than commitment avoidance. For DiCaprio, fulfillment clearly exists beyond conventional relationship milestones, in artistic expression, environmental stewardship, and meaningful connections unbounded by traditional structures. The professional-personal balance. Inside Leo's inner circle. Beyond his high-profile romantic relationships, DiCaprio maintains an exceptionally close-knit group of friends who have remained constant throughout his decades in the spotlight. This wolf pack, as media outlets have dubbed them, includes actors Tobey Maguire and Lucas Haas, both childhood friends from his early audition days, and producer Kevin Connolly. The longevity of these friendships, spanning over 30 years in an industry notorious for transient connections, offers insight into DiCaprio's values regarding personal loyalty and authentic relationships. Leo values consistency, revealed one longtime associate who requested anonymity. The same people who celebrated his first Oscar nomination are the ones he vacations with today. These aren't industry friendships, they're his family of choice. This stability in his personal connections contrasts with the perception of impermanence in his romantic relationships, suggesting DiCaprio places tremendous value on enduring bonds, but categorizes different relationships distinctly. His mother Ermeline and father George remain central figures in his life, frequently accompanying him to industry events and environmental conferences. DiCaprio purchased homes for both parents and reportedly consults them on major decisions, professional and personal. This ongoing close relationship with his parents into middle age reflects his appreciation for family bonds outside conventional nuclear structures. The cohesion of DiCaprio's inner circle serves practical purposes beyond emotional support. His trusted friends create a protective barrier against the more intrusive aspects of fame, allowing him rare moments of normalcy despite his global recognition. When Leo's with his core group, he can momentarily forget being Leonardo DiCaprio and just be Leo from the neighborhood, explained a director who has socialized with this inner circle. That psychological breathing room is invaluable for someone who's been in the public eye since adolescence. This carefully maintained separation between public persona and private individual extends to his residential choices. DiCaprio owns multiple properties strategically selected for privacy, including his main Los Angeles residence in the gated Bird Streets area of the Hollywood Hills, a Palm Springs mid-century modern retreat, and a carbon-neutral private island off Belize intended for eco-tourism development. Each home incorporates sustainable design elements reflecting his environmental commitments while providing sanctuary from public attention. The Environmental Crusader. Beyond the screen. While DiCaprio's acting achievements have secured his place in cinematic history, his environmental advocacy has increasingly defined his public identity beyond entertainment. What began as personal interest has evolved into a comprehensive second career, with DiCaprio leveraging his platform to address what he considers humanity's most pressing challenge. Founded in 1998, the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, now reorganized under the Earth Alliance umbrella, has directed over $100 million to conservation projects across more than 50 countries. Unlike celebrity foundations that operate primarily through financial contributions, DiCaprio maintains active involvement in initiative selection and frequently visits project sites personally, from Indonesian rainforests to Arctic research stations. What distinguishes Leo from other celebrity advocates is his scientific literacy, noted Dr. Jane Goodall, after collaborating with him on primate protection programs. He asks sophisticated questions and genuinely understands the research. This isn't performative activism, it's authentic commitment based on knowledge. This scholarly approach to environmentalism manifests in DiCaprio's production of documentaries, including Before the Flood and Ice on Fire, which present complex climate science accessibly without oversimplification. His environmental focus has increasingly influenced his professional choices. Through Appian Way Productions, DiCaprio has prioritized projects with ecological themes or opportunities to reduce production carbon footprints. We calculatedly declined several high-profile opportunities because the production methods contradicted our sustainability goals, a company executive confirmed. Leo's environmental principles aren't compartmentalized from his business decisions. This integration of values extends to his personal consumption. Despite his considerable wealth, DiCaprio drives electric vehicles, invests heavily in sustainable startups, follows a primarily plant-based diet, and has eliminated single-use plastics from his households and production sets. He doesn't just talk about environmental responsibility, he models it consistently, observed a staff member who has worked in his home. DiCaprio's environmental speeches, particularly his 2016 Oscar acceptance remarks focusing on climate change rather than personal achievement, demonstrate his willingness to redirect attention from himself to planetary concerns. This pivot from actor to advocate represents a significant evolution that provides purpose beyond traditional markers of success, potentially including marriage. The psychological perspective: fame, commitment, and identity. Psychologists specializing in celebrity behavior have offered various frameworks for understanding DiCaprio's relationship choices. Dr. Rebecca Johnson, author of Fame and Its Discontents, suggests that early exposure to extreme fame creates unique psychological conditions. When someone experiences the intensity of global recognition in their formative adult years, it fundamentally alters their relationship to social institutions, including marriage. The validation most seek through conventional life progressions has already been achieved through extraordinary public affirmation. This perspective gains credibility when considering the broader pattern among male celebrities who achieved similar early fame. Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt, and Tom Cruise each married multiple times with subsequent divorces, perhaps indicating complicated relationships with commitment intensified by public scrutiny. DiCaprio's avoidance of marriage might represent a different response to the same underlying conditions: recognition that sustaining conventional relationships under unconventional circumstances presents extraordinary challenges. Trust issues inevitably arise for individuals of DiCaprio's stature. When everyone wants something from you, access, opportunity, reflected glory, establishing authentic connections becomes exceptionally difficult, explains celebrity psychologist Dr. Michael Levine. The question, would this person want me if I weren't famous, becomes impossible to answer definitively. This fundamental uncertainty could reasonably create hesitation regarding permanent legal bonds. DiCaprio's self-identity appears intricately connected to his professional and advocacy work rather than relationship status. In the rare personal interviews he grants, he speaks passionately about acting techniques and environmental science, but deflects questions about romance with practice neutrality. This suggests a man who defines himself primarily through professional accomplishment and social impact rather than personal milestones. The future. Will Leo ever say "I do"? As DiCaprio enters his sixth decade, speculation inevitably turns to whether his views on marriage might evolve. Psychological research indicates that perspectives on commitment often shift with age, as priorities recalibrate and mortality awareness increases. Several of DiCaprio's contemporaries, who long avoided marriage, including George Clooney and Warren Beatty, eventually embraced matrimony in their later years, suggesting permanent bachelorhood isn't necessarily immutable. Industry observers note that DiCaprio's career has entered a mature phase less dependent on constant production schedules. He's at a point where he can be more selective, taking one major project annually rather than maintaining the previous pace, noted a veteran casting director. This naturally creates more space for personal priorities to shift. Recent reports that DiCaprio has expressed interest in directing suggest potential career evolution that might further alter his work-life dynamics. His current relationship with Vittoria Soretti has demonstrated unfamiliar patterns: more public appearances together, integration with his family, and shared environmental initiatives, leading some close to the couple to speculate about potential evolution in his views. Their connection seems different, one source close to both parties acknowledged. There's a partnership quality that transcends his previous relationships. Yet those with longest-standing connections to DiCaprio maintain skepticism about fundamental changes to his marriage perspective. Leo has constructed a life that works extraordinarily well for him, observed one childhood friend. He maintains meaningful relationships, pursues creative fulfillment, and addresses global challenges that matter deeply to him. Marriage would represent a solution to a problem he doesn't perceive. Ultimately, DiCaprio's approach to personal commitment reflects broader societal shifts regarding marriage. As traditional relationship structures increasingly diversify, his choices appear less exceptional and more aligned with contemporary perspectives that prioritize relationship quality over formal recognition. Rather than viewing DiCaprio as marriage-averse, a more nuanced interpretation suggests he has thoughtfully constructed a life aligned with his unique circumstances and genuine priorities. As he marks his half-century milestone, Leonardo DiCaprio's legacy extends far beyond the question of marriage. His extraordinary artistic contributions, environmental leadership, and carefully constructed personal philosophy represent a life deliberately lived according to individual values rather than external expectations. Whether or not he eventually embraces matrimony, his journey offers a compelling case study in defining success and fulfillment on highly personal terms. Do you think Leonardo DiCaprio will ever embrace marriage, or will his career and passions continue to take precedence? Has your perspective on his choices evolved after understanding the complex factors influencing his decisions? Share your views below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more insights into Hollywood's most enigmatic stars.